Good evening and welcome to the Newshour Agenda. I'm Madhav Gopal Krishnan. Viewers, Manipur has been on the edge for more than 2 months now. Over 130 people have lost their lives as violence and clashes have gripped the state. The video of 2 women being stripped and paraded naked has sparked nationwide anger, leading to calls for Chief Minister Biren Singh's resignation. Today, Times Now confronted the Chief Minister on the situation in Manipur, posing 18 pressing questions but got 0 answers. As the Chief Minister was evasive and his security blocks Times Now's reporter Tetri. Take a look at this sequence.
Sir, after 75 days, why the accused was not arrested is the question being raised.
सबको
पकड़ लिया है. Sir, opposition सवाल उठा रहा है इस्तीफे पर. इस पे क्या कहना चाहेंगे? Sir, do you think that authorities are incompetent? How would you respond to it, sir? Do you think that strict action should be taken, sir? Sir, do you think that strict action should be taken again? Do you think what are the loopholes if the actions are not being taken? आपको क्या लग रहा है, sir? क्यों इतना विलंब हो रहा है?
मैडम,
opposition, हाँ sir. बीरेन जी, विपक्ष बार-बार आपके इस्तीफे की मांग कर रहा है. इस पे आप क्या जवाब देना चाहेंगे? So how would you respond to the opposition raising again and again questions? Let him speak. He's speaking. Please let him respond. The nation wants to listen to him too. The nation wants to listen to him. Please let him respond. Sir, he's speaking. Manipur is burning, sir. Why the situation is not changing? How would you respond to it, sir?
मैडम प्लीज.
What is the reason, sir? Center has deployed its forces. State has also deployed its forces, but still, why no action has been taken, Biren sir?
मैडम प्लीज.
While the Chief Minister has chosen to remain mum, the Manipur issue has kept the national politics on the boil. For the 3rd day today, deadlock over Manipur continued to stall the parliament. Both houses had to be adjourned amidst unrelenting protests by opposition members who have refused to relent on their demand for the PM statement on this issue. This even as the Union Home Minister Amit Shah has assured the House that the government is ready to discuss the matter and said that nation deserves to know the truth.
चर्चा के लिए तैयार हूं. मुझे मालूम नहीं है कि विपक्ष क्यों चर्चा करने देना नहीं चाहता. मेरा विपक्ष के नेता को आग्रह है कि चर्चा होने दे और इस महत्वपूर्ण मसले पर पूरे देश के सामने सच्चाई जाए. बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है.
Opposition, however, has rejected the government's Manipur debate offer, insisting that PM Modi makes a suo motu statement on Manipur in Parliament. They've demanded answers directly from the Prime Minister, saying that he should not hide behind his subordinates.
बात यह कि ये सारे दुनिया में इस मुद्दे को लेकर चर्चा हो रहे हैं. आसमान तो नहीं टूट पड़ेगा ना, आसमान तो नहीं फट जाएगी. ज़्यादा कुछ नहीं मांग रहे हैं हम लोग. एक छोटी सी मांग है हमारी तरफ से कि विनम्रता पूर्वक हम लोग ये मांग कर रहे हैं कि मणिपुर की आज की जो गंभीर हालात है, इसके मद्देनजर प्रधानमंत्री जी आप सदन में आके बयान देते हुए ये चर्चा शुरू करें.
देखिए, देश के प्रधानमंत्री सदन में आके मणिपुर की हिंसा पे जवाब क्यों नहीं दे रहे हैं? एक कारगिल के योद्धा की पत्नी को नंगा करके परेड कराया गया है. इतनी शर्मनाक घटना है. भारत की सेना, भारत के 140 करोड़ लोग, उनका सर शर्म से झुक गया है, लेकिन प्रधानमंत्री इतने बेशर्म हैं कि वो सदन में आके जवाब देने के लिए तैयार नहीं है.
कि हमने मणिपुर का मुद्दा निकाला, इसलिए अब राजस्थान का निकालेंगे, पश्चिम बंगाल का निकालेंगे, उसके ऊपर भी चर्चा होगी. लेकिन शुरुआत मणिपुर से हो रही है ना. मणिपुर में जो हुआ है पूरा विश्व देख रहा है. और मोदी जी आप विश्व के नेता मानते हैं आपको, तो विश्व में जो चर्चा हो रही है, यूरोपियन पार्लियामेंट में चर्चा हो रही है, अमेरिका में चर्चा हो रही है, यूनो में चर्चा हो रही है मणिपुर के बारे में, लेकिन हमारे संसद में चर्चा नहीं हो रही है.
And with opposition in no mood to relent, the ruling BJP has questioned their insistence and accused them of trying to run away from the debate and blocking the truth from emerging.
ये सत्य है कि कांग्रेस पार्टी इस चर्चा से इसलिए भाग रही है क्योंकि उन्हें जवाबदेही सुनिश्चित करनी होगी कि उनके राज्य में जब महिला की प्रताड़ना होती है तब वो चुप्पी साध कर क्यों बैठते हैं. लेकिन आज मैं एक अपील करना चाहूंगी. Stop using crime against women as instruments to settle political scores.
You're watching the News Hour at 10, debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
For more of this, let's go across to our guest. Joining us with us is Shazia Ilmi, national spokesperson of the BJP. Shubhraj Shah is founder of the Churn. Kamruzaman Chaudhary is leader of the Congress. A. Saravanan, national spokesperson of the DMK. Riju Datta, national spokesperson of the TMC, is with us. And with us also is Pradeep Bhati, national spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party. Let me start first and foremost with you, Shazia Ilmi. Questions that have been posed to Mr. Biren Singh. No answers coming in. I don't know if you've seen that sequence where Times Now posed 18 questions, not a single response. Now, for the Chief Minister of a state where about 6,000 FIRs have been filed, where, you know, those ghastly scenes, and we all know about that video about women being manhandled, stripped, even molested, all sorts of charges that have come out in the public domain that have caused huge nationwide anger. No response from Mr. Biren Singh.
Madhav, for those reasons that you cited and more, don't you think it was important to have a discussion in the Parliament? Don't you think it was absolutely necessary not to settle brownie points at this point of time, seeing the seriousness and volatility and sensitivity of the situation as to what is going on in Manipur? Do you think there was any need to play this kind of partisan politics of the worst kind instead of looking for serious answers to a burning situation? I'm shocked that instead of just agreeing to the government's proposal to discuss it under the rule 267, I mean, insisting on 267, knowing very well that, you know, the discussion was possible. And it should have been made possible, and it could have been extended. Okay. Actually, under 76. Okay. But there was this need to score brownie points, and there was a need to play to make it all about Modi ji and the fact that he's speaking or not speaking.
I want the TMC to come in now. TMC is playing partisan politics, as is other opposition parties. Riju Datta, that's the charge coming in from Shazia Ilmi. Please respond to her. You're just trying to score brownie points in the name of this crisis. That is their charge of the BJP. Please respond to her.
Straightforward answer. The Prime Minister is answerable to the Parliament, the House belongs to the opposition, and the Parliament is answerable to the people of this country. After 77 days and a video after that went viral, the Prime Minister made a statement of Manipur outside the walls of the Parliament for 36 seconds. Why can't he issue a statement in any of the House of his choosing? Why is he hiding behind his subordinates? He is the Prime Minister the country has elected for him. But my question is here, that why doesn't the Prime Minister has any respect for the Parliament? Why is BJP trying to deflect the issue to create a narrative? Why?
So you have no.
Can I please finish? Can I please finish?
Okay. Yeah, Shazia, let him make his point. But you know, Riju, I have a question. I have a question for you, Riju. I have a question for you. One second, Riju. I have a simple question. That is the Home Minister who is in charge of law and order in this country. Why is the Home Minister's statement being blocked? Why don't we at least get to know what is the government's position? Because for 3 days, and you have every right to put the government on the dock in any manner that you choose fit. But for 3 days, the nation is deprived from knowing what is the factual position of the government or the version of the government even, without even that basic statement happening. Riju.
Right. Straightforward answer. The Home Minister is incompetent. And why I say this? Because the viral video happened on May the 4th. The Prime Minister made a comment after 77 days and arrests were made. When did the Home Minister visit Manipur? On May 29th. So when the Home Minister was in Manipur trying to restore law and order, he was not informed of this ghastly action. So how can he be the apt person to comment on this issue?
That doesn't change the fact that he's the Home Minister of the country, sir. But anyway, I'm going to allow Shazia to respond to you on that. Okay. Yeah, you made a significant number of points. Shazia Ilmi, he says that he does not want, or the opposition does not want Home Minister to come in because he has gone to the state and the situation still remains out of control. And this particular incident, action should have been taken when the Home Minister went. That's his allegation. Please respond to it.
So by the same logic, Madhav, please ask him that if the Prime Minister were to speak, would they take it easily and they would not accuse him of the same? The fact of the matter is that the Home Minister of the country is doing everything possible in a very difficult situation, and instead of listening to him and having the decency to allow the Manipur issue to be there at the center of the discourse in Parliament, they decided to use this also and the situation of Manipur to their political advantage. And so the point is not Manipur at all for them. They do not care. It is about, again, trying to show Prime Minister down, trying to misbehave and say some terrible things about the Home Minister.
No, but
who decides who's incompetent?
Shazia,
you are saying this.
Shazia,
So I'm not even going to go into what is happening in West Bengal. And how
no, but Shazia, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question as well.
Even having any
let me ask you a question as well. I'm not going to get into the other states for the moment, but I'm going to the question of Prime Minister being asked for accountability. In 2011, just one second, hear me out, hear my question out, because this is what the BJP has done in the past, and I'm merely reading out the facts. In 2011, on the PJ Thomas issue, the BJP and other opposition parties asked for the Prime Minister's statement, and that happened. In the case of the coal scam in 2012, the Prime Minister's statement was sought inside the Parliament. In the case of the missing files related to the coal scam in 2013, the Prime Minister's statement was sought and opposition pressed for it, and it was given inside the Parliament. Now, if that is the yardstick that the BJP has had when Congress has been in power, why should the BJP then not stick to that same yardstick when it is in power? Is a question that several in the opposition are asking. Shazia.
So by that logic, I can say that all the charges that you talked about were of rampant corruption, and I know what each one of them, and Prime Minister was asked to answer on these because he is a first among equals. By the logic of this, where the Home Minister is concerned, in a law and order situation which is actually strained and terrible, and I would concede that in Manipur, should not the Home Minister answer that? You can say at that point of time, BJP should have asked the Finance Minister to speak, but Prime Minister has a moral authority when it comes to matters of corruption. Who is the highest authority when it comes to matters of law and order?
Saravanan, in those particular cases, there were departments linked to the Prime Minister, and therefore he made a speech. Yeah, you made your point now, Shazia. Please let others come in now. Saravanan, therefore the Prime Minister spoke. In this particular case, it's matters related to the Home Ministry, and therefore it is apt that the Home Minister speaks. That's Shazia's explanation for what happened during the UPA years and what's happening now in the NDA years. Your response?
Yeah, yes. The Prime Minister has abdicated his responsibility. We have never seen a Prime Minister so scared of even speaking inside the Parliament, and they are inaugurating a new Parliament. The Prime Minister inaugurated the new Parliament, but he never cares to speak even inside the Parliament. Let us take the track record of the Prime Minister in the last 10 years. He must be the only Prime Minister who had spoken so much, spent so much less time inside the Parliament and spoken inside the Parliament. This is one thing. So this explains why the Prime Minister is afraid of a debate. The Prime Minister is eloquent only when it is a monologue. Only when there is a teleprompter in front of him, he can make eloquent and rhetorical speeches. But when he is questioned, when there is a debate, the Prime Minister is found wanting. Is the Prime Minister, how the Prime Minister is concerned with the railways? He is flagging off the Vande Bharat. He is issuing orders. He is issuing the orders of the recruitment orders. So how the Prime Minister is connected with those? Is the Prime Minister?
There it is. It's about the Prime Minister.
Yeah, please allow me to speak.
For Manipur. It is there. It is. You
allow me to speak, madam.
Your expression is about that. There is. You have not interested in a debate on Manipur.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, Mr. Sarwan, make your point. Make your point. Yeah, but let's stick to Manipur. Yeah.
I'm coming to it. Yes. I am speaking with Manipur. See, in independent India, for so long, which state has found a civil war going on between two communities for so long? In independent India, this has never ever happened. So who will we question? We will question the Prime Minister.
Okay.
Because the Modi hai mumkin to. Modi hai to. So what is that? Modi hai to mumkin hai.
Okay.
This is the only thing. And when the Prime Minister, no, let me finish.
Yeah, okay, quickly complete your point.
Not to be aggressive. Madhav, you have said, we have asked so many questions. Just a minute, Madhav. We have asked so many questions to the Chief Minister. But whose duty is to ensure that the Chief Minister, if he is found wanting to dismiss him. It is the Prime Minister. But why has he not done that? That is the question. That is the question everyone is asking.
Why is
the Prime Minister is running scared?
Okay. There are. Let me bring in Shazia on this point. Shazia, this is a very pertinent point in context. One second, yes, Mr. Sarwan, now you have spoken. Now, please, you have made your point. Now, let me come in now. There are 9 BJP MLAs, Shazia Ilmi, who wrote to the Prime Minister last month, in fact, saying that people of the state have lost faith in Biren Singh-led government. There are allegations that the police were present when that ghastly incident happened. In fact, they were snatched from police custody. Has been very well reported also, as you know, all over the place. There are demands coming in at a time that things are so bad. There are, in fact, MLAs of the BJP demanding AFSPA be reimposed in the state. Now, if this is the kind of level of violence, then surely somewhere or the other, by defending this or continuing with Biren Singh, somewhere or the other, the government is exposing itself to these questions coming in from opposition. This is what opposition is saying.
So I have two answers. First of all, what is the assurance which can be given by any of these smart Alex here, the removal of the CM at this point of time would actually yield absolute safety and containment of the situation, 1. 2, and more importantly, I heard him vent and vent about the Prime Minister and ask all these questions. Wouldn't it have been better for all of us who care about what's happening in Manipur and all of India to have a debate on the subject? Why run away? When you have the guts to ask a question, why don't you have the guts to ask the same question in the Parliament?
What about accountability, Shazia? What happens to accountability?
Because it was about ego. It was about insistence. Accountability of the Manipur CM.
No, there's two sets of accountability we're talking about here. One is at the level of the center, the other is at the level of the state. At the state, when the ruler fails, should he be allowed to continue in this manner?
He has offered to resign. Ask this question in the Parliament. Why not have a discussion in the Parliament? And will removal of his at this point of time yield any great results? Will it yield any great results? What is the assurance?
Okay.
There is accountability, of course.
Okay. Many hands going up. Let me quickly bring in other panelists also, please. Please, ladies and gentlemen, please bear with me. The other panelists who have not yet spoken. Let me bring in Kamru Zaman Chaudhary, leader of the Congress party. Kamru Zaman Chaudhary, Shazia Ilmi is asking that what is the guarantee that if this person is removed, that law and order issues in Manipur will be resolved? That's a question that she's asking, and she says if you have these issues, raise them in a debate, during a debate in Parliament. Why is that not happening is a question.
Madhav, the army has to be sent in. It has to be rained. That is what has to happen. Why the BJP has not done that?
Okay, question. Let Subrashta take that. Subrashta, why has the army not been sent in is a question from Mr. Sarwan. Subrashta.
Has the state demanded an army from the central government? It's a counter question to whoever asked the question.
It's the duty of the central government. The lives of the people are more important.
Am I not audible?
Yes.
The lives of the people are more important. 150 lives have been lost.
No, sir.
Not my cities.
Sir, I asked a very simple question because all of these things happen procedurally. These things happen procedurally. I'm asking has the state
answered in a very simple way.
Forget about the state. Say me. For example, you may say that it's a BJP government. Has the opposition in Manipur, specifically in Manipur, opposition leaders in Manipur, opposition MLAs in Manipur, have they written to the central government asking for the army deployment?
They are all Indian citizens, madam.
By the way, army is deployed. I'm not.
Every Indian citizen.
It's not to say that there is no army there.
Can raise
Most of the situation is under control because of the Indian army.
Only the Manipur people in Manipur should raise this issue. What kind of a logic is this?
I asked
what kind of a flawed logic is this?
Madhav, is he not able to comprehend my question, or should
No, but let me on Subrashta, quote.
Madhav, did I?
Let me quote.
Ask her.
One second. Let me just come in here. Let me just come in here. There is a BJP MLA by the name of Paulinal Hauke, Subrashta, and even he is asking this question. Even he is asking this question about whether AFSPA should not be reinstated in the state of Manipur for a short and specified period of time, and that all the weapons that have been either looted or facilitated or stolen or whatever it may be, that they be recovered. Because unless something drastic is done, We can't have a situation saying that we will not act because center will not act because state government has not acted. The whole question is, why is the state government not acting, Shubhrashta?
No, I agree with you, Madhav. I am not here to bail out any government, whether state or center. But I have structural issues, in this and the framing of this question by people who have vested interests. Now, whether an army should be sent or not, whether Manipur is a failed state or not, I'm going to address all these questions by the opposition. Whether army should be deployed in the measure that these guys want army to be deployed, where shall the conversation happen, Madhav? Why have we sent more than 500 MPs to the parliament? It is your and my taxpayers' money that goes on to fund every session of the parliament. Why is the opposition and the government together? Why are they not having a proper conversation in the parliament on this?
Yeah, let me bring in Kamru Zaman Chaudhary on that.
My Lok Sabha MPs from the northeast, my and your Lok Sabha MPs. Yeah.
Kamru Zaman Chaudhary, why are these issues not being discussed threadbare in parliament, which is the correct forum for these discussions, is the question coming in once again from Shubhrashta. Yeah.
Firstly, Madhav.
Is that a question to me directly?
One second. Before,
okay, she wants to make a quick point. Yeah, quickly, 15 seconds, quickly.
They said that the Prime Minister should issue a statement. Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Firstly, they said the Prime Minister should make a statement. Well, for optical purposes, if the opposition wanted that, the Prime Minister made the statement. Then they came on to say, no, he should say it in the well of the House. Now, when the Prime Minister would make a statement in the well of the House, then they would come up with another third rider. My question is, why can't the opposition get a House in order and quote-unquote demand the Prime Minister to do whatever the hell they want the Prime Minister to do?
Okay, Mr. Kamru Zaman Chaudhary. Okay, one second. Mr. Sarwan, now let others come in. Yeah, I want Kamru Zaman Chaudhary to come in. He's been waiting patiently for his turn. Please allow him to come in. The others also have not yet spoken. Sarwan, please. Sarwan, please. The question, Mr. Kamru Zaman Chaudhary, is that the opposition is continuously shifting the goalposts. That's a charge being made by Shubhrashta. Please respond to her.
Madhav, I'm having a very bad audio line on the Zoom, but still then whatever I can gather out here, the question that remain to be asked and answered tonight is if the Prime Minister of our great democratic country can find time to speak in the US Parliament, he gets time to hug the French Prime Minister, or let's say the UAE Premier. Does he not have that much of humanity in him to go and hug the victims of Manipur violence, the greatest ethnic violence that India has seen? Madhav, I spent my childhood bordering Nagaland and Manipur. I know what tribalism is out there, how there were riots breaking out every few and then. It's a very fragile ecosystem out there. The tribalism is so strong out there, any one small loose comments would make the entire region and go on fire. Now look, the fire is spreading from Manipur to Mizoram, and God forbid, it might spread to other states also. The Prime Minister, we as an Indian nation have invested so much on the Supreme Leader Narendra Modi ji. A one statement could have calmed down some patients in Manipur so much, but to hide his failures, he has outsourced his failures to his junior ministers. We have got one of the most incompetent home ministers in the history of independent India who went to Manipur. He aggravated the situation more. There are stories coming out that BJP ministers were waiting for the Prime Minister in Delhi to have an audience. He did not give any audience to them. He comes to the parliament 10 meters away from the floor of the House. Now, let me finish, Madhav. I've got a very bad audio. I'll just finish in another 30 seconds. Within 10 meters of the parliament, he comes, issues a statement, and then he goes about and says, compares the Manipur incident with Chhattisgarh and Rajasthan. Do we expect as a normal human being, as a peace-loving human being of India? He doesn't come into the floor of the House. What does the parliament want? We do not want a short-term discussion. We want a full-term discussion. Let us take a delegation from Delhi to Manipur, try and find out a solution. When the Prime Minister can change the Prime Minister.
Shazia, this is a charge being made repeatedly by opposition that by comparing it to Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh, while those are ghastly incidents as well, the scale of violence in Manipur should not be compared to other incidents because otherwise it is whataboutery. This is what opposition is saying.
But this is whataboutery where they are concerned. Just look at it. Instead of looking at what's happening in their own states, instead of ensuring that women are secure there, that the crimes of violence that are there against women, which have been on the rise, instead of them being discussed, all they do is to target the Prime Minister. I'm not saying do not discuss Manipur. Please be there, and this is exactly what Amit Shah said today. Please be here and the truth must come out and let's have a thread-based discussion. But they will not do it. Why? Because they don't care. They don't care about rapes in Rajasthan, rapes in Manipur, rapes in West Bengal. And which is why they don't do it. They just all they want to do is settle political scores, make it about the ego, try to somehow embarrass the Prime Minister at this point of time instead of finding solutions to the very same problems that he talked about.
Okay.
Tribalism. Then how incendiary can it be? This just goes on to show, and I heard each one of them.
Yeah.
Each one of them. No, do not come in. Let me finish.
Can I comment?
If you really were keen, and you know, why not answer questions on Rajasthan? Why not answer question on West Bengal? Do you want to weaponize women and rapes? You want to use women's bodies for your political gains? And so why is the rape of a woman in Rajasthan any less important than a rape of a woman somewhere else? It is a shame. It is a shame. It's a shameful thing.
Okay. Okay. Multiple hands going up. I'm seeing many hands going up.
So rapes of women do not matter.
Yeah. Pradeep Bhati wants to respond to you on that point. Pradeep Bhati. Many hands going up, please. We can't have everyone speaking at the same time. I want Pradeep Bhati to come in now. Pradeep Bhati, your response to Shazia Almi, she's saying that women's bodies are being used to politicize these issues. Pradeep Bhati, please.
Thank you, Madhav, and good evening to all.
And the rapes in Rajasthan.
I request BJP spokesperson, please do not interject in between. I have heard you completely patiently. See, Madhav, we have to understand these are two situations. Both are interrelated. The deadlock in the Parliament and from the government side, and the monstrous, relentless violence in the Manipur, which has no end to it. Now I want to start the discussion by quoting Honorable Prime Minister itself. I quote, "Those who cannot ensure peace in the state have no right to govern," unquote. This is said by Honorable Prime Minister. If the Prime Minister of this country do not abide by what he has said in the past, like he has done in the numerous times also, then who will believe in the government and who will trust the government? So it is in the interest of the BJP and the Prime Minister to allow and let the Prime Minister to speak in Parliament and let the Parliament to function. Nation cannot come out of this horrifying, shameful, embarrassing situation. We have to find out the solution, and then party in the power has to take out some solution.
Yeah, but let me bring in Subrashta now. Subrashta, this is a situation which has even moved the Supreme Court of the country. We're deeply disturbed. Yeah, one second, Mr. Bhati. Question for Subrashta. We're deeply disturbed. There's huge concern, deep concern. It's time the government steps in and takes action. This is unacceptable. These are just some of the words coming in from the Chief Justice of India when this matter came up last week. So somewhere or the other, there are some serious issues of governance in the state of Manipur which are not being addressed. Whatever they are, we can of course discuss. One may agree, disagree and differ. But the fact is that there are some serious issues, whether it's acts of omission, commission, we can't say at the moment, but certainly very, very important questions about the state government and its handling of this crisis.
See, Madhav, because my...
Subrashta, a question for Subrashta, please.
I agree with you. Not only has the government of Manipur failed to assess situations before they flared up, but they also lapsed on count of accountability and on count of rapid action when it should have been taken. I totally agree with you on that. My question is, how do we move forward from here? See, the politicization of a woman's body, politicization of incidents like rape will happen in this country. But as conscientious Indian citizens, we need to ask, how do we move from here? I agree with you that the state government should step in, the central government should step in and take a few measures. But my question to you, Madhav, also is this: what is the root cause of the problem in Manipur? It is not just about, somebody explained the whole issue of tribalism there. It's not just tribalism. It's also, the conversation between different communities with respect to who should own what kind of land. It's also about, drugs. Manipur is a part of that, golden triangle, as it is called, for for those who are interested in the whole drug trade that happens all across the world. Please understand, it is a very sensitive issue. So when the Home Minister or when anybody from the administration today says that it has the Manipur issues in Manipur right now, and insensitive statements, if it comes from the opposition,
many heads nodding, many hands going up as well.
Issues. It is very right. I worked in that zone.
Yeah. Kamruzaman Chaudhary wants to counter you on that. I think the narco point that you are making.
Every statement that I make tonight will be politicized.
It's not a question of politicizing.
Please answer these people. That rapes, as happened in Manipur today, did rapes not happen when AFSPA was around, when the UPA was in power? Please ask them. It is no longer. So when we discuss Manipur, so there are two things, Madhav. Either they discuss Manipur in isolation, which I agree with the opposition. Let us have a discussion on Manipur in isolation. Let's not discuss Rajasthan or Chhattisgarh, etc., etc. When you discuss Manipur in isolation, you cannot only discuss crimes against women. You will have to take into consideration the various problems that the Kukis have with the Nagas have with the Kukis, the Nagas have with the Metis, the Kukis have with the Metis, and the Nagas and Kukis have with the Metis, and vice versa. Then you will also have to consider that there is a huge problem of drugs in that area. Then you will also have to consider how there has been illegal migration from Myanmar and from Bangladesh. Let us all consider that. Then let us consider, discuss Manipur in detail. And let me tell you, of all the panelists sitting here, I don't think there should be only one or two amongst us will have the subtleties, will understand the subtleties of that state. So when people, they did the same thing with Citizenship Amendment Act. They went ahead to make all kinds of ludicrous statements, and the Assam burnt.
Right. We're completely out of time. Sorry, I have to interrupt because we're completely out of time. Shazi Almi, Subrashta, Kamruzaman Chaudhary, A. Sarvanan, Riju Datta and Pradeep Bhati completely out of time on this debate. I'd like to thank all of you for joining us. All eyes on Parliament. All eyes on whether this issue will be discussed threadbare or whether we're going to continue seeing adjournment after adjournment on the 4th day of the monsoon session. Thanks so much for joining us this evening.